Is Bryan Mbeumo the missing piece in Manchester United's attack? Picture this. It's a quiet Tuesday afternoon at Old Trafford. The transfer window is in full swing, and Manchester United fans are refreshing their phones every few minutes, hoping for that one big signing that could change everything. Well, United supporters, your prayers might just be answered. The Red Devils are reportedly closing in on one of the Premier League's most consistent goal scorers, Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. But is this the right move for United? And more importantly, is Old Trafford the right destination for a player who could easily walk into any Champions League team? Let's dive deep into this transfer saga that has got everyone talking. Who is Bryan Mbeumo? Before we get into the transfer details, let's talk about the man himself. Bryan Mbeumo isn't just another Premier League player. He's a proven goal machine who has been quietly building one of the most impressive records in English football. The 25-year-old Cameroon international has been with Brentford since 2019, when he made the move from French club Troyes. Back then, not many people knew his name. Fast forward to today, and he's one of the most sought-after attackers in the Premier League. What makes Mbeumo special? For starters, he's incredibly consistent. In the 2024-25 season, he scored 20 Premier League goals while playing in every single match. That's right, all 38 games. When was the last time you saw that kind of reliability from a player? Since joining Brentford, Mbeumo has played 242 games and scored 70 goals. Those numbers might not jump off the page immediately, but consider this, he's been doing it for a team that's fighting to stay in the Premier League, not challenging for titles. Imagine what he could do with better players around him. The transfer details, what's really happening? So what's the latest on this transfer? According to reports from Football Transfers, Manchester United have reached an agreement with Brentford to sign Bryan Mbeumo. But as we all know, nothing in football is ever that simple. The deal is reportedly worth around £70 million, which would make Mbeumo one of the most expensive signings in United's recent history. That's a lot of money. But is it worth it for a player who scored 20 goals in the Premier League? Here's where it gets interesting. Brentford are apparently already looking for a replacement. They've got their eyes on Omari Hutchinson from Ipswich Town. This suggests that Brentford are serious about letting Mbeumo go, but they want to make sure they get the right price. Manchester United aren't the only team interested though. Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle United have both been linked with the player. Both of these clubs can offer Champions League football next season, which makes United's pull even more impressive. But here's the kicker, Mbeumo apparently has his heart set on joining Manchester United. Despite the lack of Champions League football, he wants to play at Old Trafford. That says something about the club's pulling power, doesn't it? Why Manchester United need Bryan Mbeumo? Let's be honest about Manchester United's current situation. They finished in the bottom half of the Premier League last season. That's not where a club of United stature should be. They need goals, and they need them badly. Looking at United's attacking options, there are some obvious gaps. While they have talented players, they lack that consistent goal threat that Mbeumo provides. A player who can score 20 goals in a season while playing for a mid-table team? That's exactly what United need. Think about it this way. If Mbeumo can score 20 goals for Brentford, what could he do playing alongside better players at Manchester United? With more creative players around him and better service, those numbers could easily go up. United's attack has been inconsistent for years now. They've tried different combinations, different formations, different managers, but what they haven't had is a reliable goal scorer who shows up every week. Mbeumo could be that player. The Brentford perspective, why are they selling? From Brentford's point of view, this transfer makes perfect sense. They're a smaller club that has done incredibly well to establish themselves in the Premier League. But they also know that keeping their best players when bigger clubs come calling is nearly impossible. Mbeumo has been brilliant for Brentford, but £70 million is a life-changing amount of money for a club like theirs. They could rebuild their entire squad with that kind of money. And let's be fair to Mbeumo, he's given them excellent service for years. He deserves his chance at a bigger club. Brentford are also being smart about this. They're not just selling and hoping for the best. They're already looking at replacements like Omari Hutchinson. This shows they're planning for life after Mbeumo, which is exactly what well-run clubs do. Thomas Frank, Brentford's manager, has done an amazing job developing players like Mbeumo, but even he would probably admit that keeping a 20-goal striker when Manchester United come calling is almost impossible. Is this the right move for Mbeumo? Now here's the big question. Is Manchester United the right choice for Bryan Mbeumo? On one hand, it's Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world with a history that speaks for itself. The chance to play at Old Trafford to represent that badge is something most players dream of. But let's look at the other side. Tottenham and Newcastle both wanted him, and both can offer Champions League football. For a player at his age, Champions League experience could be crucial for his development and his international career. However, Mbeumo seems to have made his choice. He wants Manchester United. Maybe he believes he can be part of the solution at Old Trafford. Maybe he thinks he can help bring the club back to where it belongs. There's also the Ruben Amorim factor. United's manager is known for developing attacking players and getting the best out of them. Mbeumo might see this as the perfect opportunity to take his game to the next level. What this means for Manchester United's season. If this transfer goes through, what does it mean for Manchester United's upcoming season? Well, it certainly adds firepower to their attack. A player who can guarantee goals is exactly what they need. But it's not just about the goals. Mbeumo brings other qualities too. He's hardworking, he tracks back, and he's got experience playing in the Premier League. These are all things that United have been missing. The question is whether one player can make enough of a difference. United's problems last season weren't just about scoring goals. They had issues all over the pitch. But having a reliable goal scorer certainly won't hurt. If Mbeumo can maintain his goal-scoring form at United, it could be the catalyst for a much better season. Sometimes all it takes is one signing to change the whole dynamic of a team. The competition factor. Let's not forget that Manchester United will face stiff competition in the Premier League next season. Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool all have strong squads. Can Mbeumo help United compete with these teams? The answer might depend on how quickly he settles in. Premier League experience is valuable, and Mbeumo has plenty of that. He knows what it takes to score goals at this level. He won't need time to adapt to the league's pace and physicality. But playing for Manchester United is different from playing for Brentford. The pressure is different. The expectations are different. Every game is analyzed. Every performance is scrutinized. Can Mbeumo handle that pressure? His record suggests he can. A player who shows up every week and scores goals consistently probably has the mental strength to handle the pressure at Old Trafford. The financial aspect. Let's talk money. £70 million is a lot for any player. But is it good value for Mbeumo? In today's market, proven Premier League goal scorers don't come cheap. Players with far less experience and fewer goals have gone for similar amounts. Consider this. Mbeumo is 25 years old, so he's entering his prime years. He's got Premier League experience, he's proven he can score goals consistently, and he's available. In today's market, that's worth £70 million. United have spent badly in recent years, but this feels different. They're buying a player who has already proven he can perform at Premier League level. There's less risk involved compared to buying unproven players from other leagues. What the fans think. Manchester United fans seem cautiously optimistic about this potential signing. After years of big-money signings that haven't worked out, they're understandably skeptical. But Mbeumo's goal-scoring record is hard to argue with. The fact that he chose United over Champions League clubs has also impressed fans. It shows he wants to be part of the project at Old Trafford, not just taking the easy option. Brentford fans, on the other hand, are probably sad to see him go but understand the reality of the situation. They'll wish him well and hope the money is invested wisely in new players. The bigger picture. This transfer is about more than just one player. It's about Manchester United showing they can still attract top talent despite their recent struggles. It's about building for the future under Ruben Amorim. It's about getting back to competing at the highest level. For Mbeumo, it's about taking the next step in his career. He's been brilliant at Brentford, but now he wants to test himself at a bigger club. He wants to see if he can help Manchester United get back to where they belong. The Premier League is better when Manchester United are competitive. If Mbeumo can help make that happen, everyone wins. Well, everyone except the teams that have to play against him. What happens next? So what's next in this transfer saga? The reports suggest that a deal is close, but football transfers can change quickly. Until Mbeumo is holding up a Manchester United shirt, nothing is guaranteed. If the transfer does go through, all eyes will be on how quickly he can settle in. Pre-season will be crucial for him to build relationships with his new teammates and understand how AMORIM wants to play. The pressure will be on from day one. £70 million buys you expectations, and Manchester United fans will want to see immediate results. But if anyone can handle that pressure, it's a player who has consistently delivered in the Premier League. The verdict: is Bryan Mbeumo the answer to Manchester United's problems? Probably not on his own, but he's certainly a step in the right direction. A proven goal scorer who wants to play for the club is exactly what United need right now. The transfer makes sense for all parties involved. United get a reliable goal scorer. Brentford get a huge transfer fee. And Mbeumo gets his chance to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Will it work out? Only time will tell. But based on what we know about Mbeumo's character and ability, there's reason to be optimistic. He's a player who shows up every week, works hard, and scores goals. That's a pretty good starting point. Final thoughts. The Bryan Mbeumo transfer story is still developing, but it's already got Manchester United fans excited. After years of disappointment, they're desperate for signings that make sense. This one does. Whether Mbeumo can help United get back to challenging for major trophies remains to be seen. But he's certainly got the talent and the mentality to make a difference. In a world where proven Premier League goal scorers are rare, Manchester United might just have found their man. The next few weeks will be crucial. If this transfer goes through, it could be the beginning of something special at Old Trafford. If it falls through, United will have to look elsewhere for their goal-scoring solution. Either way, Bryan Mbeumo has already made his mark on this transfer window. A 20-goal striker choosing Manchester United over Champions League clubs sends a message. Maybe, just maybe, the Red Devils are on their way back.